Hello, I'm Lorenzo DeStefano. I'm looking back more than 30 years to a time and a place that have irrevocably changed while remaining in many ways the same, at least in my perception of them. No matter how razor-sharp my recollections of people and situations, memory is an elusive thing. There is nothing like having photographs to harken back to what once was. The children in these pictures are now adults, parents themselves, while their own parents are in many cases no longer with us. Certainly the elders who once engaged with my lens have joined by now the legions of the departed. But here they are, preserved within these pages as they once were, as I once was. This book is probably best described as a photographic memoir, in an attempt to chronicle a very special time in my life, as it was in the life of Cuba. In 1994 and 96, my parents died after lengthy illnesses. As an only child, this personal crisis coincided with El Período Especial, a particularly turbulent era for Cuba after the fall of communism in the Soviet Union. Decades of relying on foreign subsidies had ended, and yet again, La Isla was largely on her own in trying to find a way to feed her close to 11 million citizens. Life was harder than usual for people who were already very familiar with sacrifice. For many of us on the outside, especially Americans, it remains difficult to penetrate between the cultural stereotypes and crosstalk that we receive about Cuba. The Magic Hour is an attempt to bridge the gap between what we see and what we think we know about this unique island nation 90 miles from the southeastern shore of the United States. Reports of how troubling things are in Cuba during this precarious time, as well as first-person information I'm getting from my many friends there, testify to yet another special period in the country's long and turbulent history. While initially unaware of the full extent of these hardships, I became increasingly familiar between 1993 and 1998, when these pictures were made. What I knew for sure was that the images Cuba was revealing to me through my viewfinder were as vivid and indelible as any I had ever witnessed. I also knew that the bond formed in those years with my Cuban friend and driver, Juan de Mata Montero Reyes, would add immeasurably to both our lives. This book is dedicated to Juan's memory and to all the other Cubans who shared their lives so deeply with me and openly and with my camera.